So you're in real estate. Success in this business isn't just about closing deals. It's about building a career that actually lasts. Today, we're going to crack open the Agents Rulebook. But don't think of it as just a boring list of don'ts. Nope. This is the blueprint, the real guide that separates the top-tier pros from the cautionary tales. Let's get into it. And that's really the big question, isn't it? Because that line between being a top agent and becoming a cautionary tale, it can be razor thin. And it's not always about who's the best salesperson. A lot of the time, it comes down to who has mastered the framework. The rules that protect you, your clients, and your entire business. And that's where the real work begins. To really see how this all plays out, let's follow a new agent. We'll call her Alex. So Alex is just starting out. She's super excited, ready to learn the ropes. Her journey kicks off with understanding the absolute bedrock of the business. Alex's brokerage, just like any good one, is built on these 3 pillars. Now look closely at how they're connected. Professionalism and integrity, they're not just some fluffy, feel-good ideas. The rulebook sees them as the best way to reduce risk. In other words, being ethical isn't just the right thing to do, it's actually the most profitable thing to do in the long run. Okay, so the very first thing Alex has to get her head around is her legal status. She's not an employee, she's an independent contractor like most agents. And this difference, it is huge. It basically defines who's responsible for, pretty much everything. And here's what being in business for yourself really looks like day to day. Alex learns fast that she's on the hook for her own taxes, her own insurance, all the business expenses. Yeah, the brokerage gives her the brand and some support, but at the end of the day, the buck stops with her. That's a massive mental shift from a typical 9-to-5 job. And speaking of responsibility, get a load of this number, $1 million. That's the minimum recommended umbrella personal liability policy. It's a pretty stark reminder that the personal and financial risks in this job are very, very real. You have to be properly covered, right from day one. All right, let's fast forward a bit in Alex's journey. Business is picking up. She's getting busy, listings are coming in, and she's realizing, wow, I can't do all of this by myself. So she decides she needs an assistant. But this, right here, is where a huge compliance trap is waiting. So the first rule Alex learns about getting help is this. There is a bright, solid, uncrossable line between what a licensed assistant can do and what an unlicensed one can't. And blurring that line, even by accident, that's not a small mistake. It could put her entire license on the line. The trick is knowing exactly what tasks you can delegate and to whom. And as you can see, the list of things they cannot do is long and it's serious. Just think of it like this. If a task means interpreting information for a client, talking about terms, or actually showing a property, it requires a license. End of story. An unlicensed assistant can be an absolute lifesaver for paperwork, for scheduling, for marketing prep, but they have to stay in their lane. For Alex, getting this right is the key to growing her business without blowing it up. Okay, so now Alex is ready to meet her first real clients. This is the exciting stuff, right? But it's also where some of the riskiest situations can happen. So the focus here shifts to 3 super critical areas: personal safety, legal fairness, and making sure you disclose everything properly. Before she shows a single house, Alex has to memorize these 5 safety steps. I know, they might seem like common sense, but they are totally non-negotiable. The main idea is simple. Never put yourself in a vulnerable situation alone with a stranger. And always, always trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Just leave. Your safety is worth way more than any commission. Next up is a principle that is an absolute cornerstone of this industry. This isn't optional, it's not a suggestion, it's not a guideline, it is a legal and ethical mandate. Giving everyone the same level of professional service is the only way to do business. Period. These are some of the big-time violations Alex has to avoid. Things like steering a buyer towards or away from a neighborhood because of their background, or blockbusting, which is basically creating panic to get people to sell. It's all illegal and totally unethical. Our job is to help people find a place to live, not to decide where we think they should live. And finally, we have transparency. Before a conversation with a client gets serious, Alex has to be perfectly clear about who she's working for. This is called agency disclosure, and the timing of it is everything. The rule is you have to give them this form at the first substantial contact. And what that means is before they start telling you sensitive things like their financial situation, it just protects everybody and sets you up for an honest relationship from the get-go. All right, let's get to the climax of Alex's very first transaction. She's got a buyer. They're ready to write an offer. This is huge. But now she's got to navigate the deal itself, which, you guessed it, is a legal minefield of contracts, negotiations, and some really serious laws. So the first major hazard here is antitrust. The rules on this are absolute, and they're there to make sure the market stays fair and competitive for the public. Alex learns that you can never, ever discuss your commission rates with agents from other companies. That's called price fixing, and it's illegal. You also can't agree to, say, boycott another brokerage. The takeaway is simple. Your fees are set by your brokerage, and that's it. Talking about it with competitors is against the law. Now, let's talk about a very modern and very scary threat. Picture this: Alex gets this exact email from her client. Her first instinct might be to just be helpful, find the info, and send it over. But in today's world of super sophisticated wire fraud, that could be a life-altering mistake. And here is the one and only correct answer. The rule couldn't be clearer. The agent is never the person who gives out wiring instructions. You don't email them, you don't text them, you don't read them over the phone. You tell your client firmly to contact the title company directly to get and then verbally verify those instructions. This one simple habit could save your client from losing their entire life savings. It's that serious. So Alex made it. She navigated the legal stuff, she protected her clients, and she closed her first deal. As we wrap things up here, let's take a look at how all these individual rules and policies come together to form a real blueprint for a long, successful career. You know, when you boil it all down, here's the biggest takeaway from Alex's journey. Every single rule we've talked about, from safety protocols to disclosure forms, it all points to one thing: reducing risk. This isn't about red tape. It's about building a shield around your client, your brokerage, and yourself. It's how you build a business that can actually last. And that brings us right back to where we started. Remember those 3 pillars? Now we can really see how they work together. By being a true professional and acting with total integrity, which really just means following all the rules we just covered, Alex isn't just being a good agent. She's building a profitable business. The two things can't be separated. So we followed Alex as she learned all the key stuff, from her legal status all the way to closing the deal. This is the blueprint for success. It's grounded in ethics, in safety, and in the law. So the only real question left is, how are you going to use it to build your career?
Call Blue Spruce Realty today to get started.